Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'll be doing a detailed review on this brand new Keurig K-Crema single serve coffee maker. Now I did buy this with my own money. I wasn't paid for this video. It retails for $220 right now. So I do use links though. If you purchase the product using the link that pops up in the video on my web page or in the description, the product doesn't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. Today's video is brought to you by my very own coffee, Just a Dad Simple Sip Coffee, which I will be brewing into this coffee maker. It's like a medium to dark Brazilian roast. You can find it on my website, justadadcoffee.com, or my brand new website, justadadapproved.com. That's where all the products that I approve of right now, I'm doing robot vacuum cleaners. I do vacuum cleaners. I've done coffee makers in the past. You can find all of those products that I highly recommend from my honest reviews, buying the product with my own money and giving you my honest opinion at justadadapproved.com. Up there in the tab, there'll be a place where you can buy my coffee. Now in today's video, we're gonna go over all the dimensions, like we're gonna unbox it. Then we're actually gonna brew some coffee with it. I do have my coffee, but I also have the Cafe Bastelio, the dark roast for the French and stuff. So we'll try some different flavors. Now I will be doing a separate video of how to descale it. It does have a descale light, and I'll be doing a separate video on that. Okay, here's everything that comes in the box. It does have a water reservoir. There was a bunch of tape on here. It's gonna be a single serve K-cup coffee maker. It's got 5 needles on the top. I like that it comes with a manual. So they're giving this the model number K91, and it consumes 1,520 watts of power. The cord is 2-prong and it's 3 feet long. The water reservoir is removable. And if you want to put a water filter in there, it'll take the tall handle water filter. Okay, so height-wise with the handle all the way up, looks like it's right about 17¼ inches or 44 centimeters. Front to back is 12 inches or 31 centimeters. Left to right, 8 inches or 21 centimeters. Okay, now it does have a drip tray that you can remove. Let's measure that distance. 7 inches or 18 centimeters. It does have this, like the drips are gonna go in here. Now there is another spot you can put it in there. Let's put it right there. That's about 5 inches. One more. 3½ inches. And that's it. So when it's down here like that, you've got 6¼ inches. And front to back looks like about 10 centimeters or 4 inches. Okay, I've got the water reservoir filled up to the max line. Now, the first thing I always recommend before you plug it in, I call this priming the Keurig. You're gonna lift this up and down about 20 times. You're gonna see some air bubbles come out. That's gonna push water into the Keurig just to kind of help it out, prevent it from not having water in there and that heating element. So do this about 20 times. This will definitely really help. And if your Keurig has sat for a while, you wanna do this before you use it. Okay, I've got the Keurig plugged in. Now there is no power switch, but as soon as you hit a button or lift the handle, it's gonna turn it on. There, see it is turned on now. And there's no power switch to turn it off. So after 5 minutes of no use, it does power down. Now we need to run a cup of water, or we need to run an 8-ounce brew through it first. So put a cup underneath here. We're gonna select 8 ounces. We're gonna do just a classic brew. I will be showing you how to do the pressure brew, but right now, select classic. You can select whatever you'd want, but let's select 8 ounces. Now press the big K button, that's the brew button. You may get some puffs of air out, but this just kind of gets the Keurig ready to go. It's called a fresh water rinse. And you'll want to do these fresh water rinses once in a while with no K-cup in there, just to kind of flush out that needle area. Now that water is really hot. All right, so that takes less than a minute. We're gonna wait for it to finish the brew. The light should go out. And it does have an add water light and a descale light. So, okay, the lights went out. That means the brew is finished. Lift the handle. You would take the K-Cup out if you did, but now that's called the fresh water rinse. All right, let's talk about the functions of this. Again, it's got a classic brew. You're going to select classic or pressure. You've got to pick which one you want to do. When the add water light comes on, you're going to add water over here. And when the descale light comes on, you got to put it into a special descale mode to descale it. That light's going to come on after 250 brews. And then with the classic shot, we can do a 6, 8, 10, or 12 ounce. When you want to do a single shot or a double shot, you got to go to the pressurized setting. I accidentally hit the K. Now the pressurized setting, that's when you get the crema on the top. That's that little foam that you get on top of the coffee. So when we're in pressure, they call that pressure. You can do a single shot, double shot. You can do coffee too, like a 6 ounce, 8 ounce, 10 ounce, or 12 ounce. But when you want to do a classic brew, you cannot do the shots. You can only do 6, 8, 10, or 12, and you'll press the K button. In the classic brew, it's just going to be a cup of coffee. You won't get that little foam at the top. Now it's got a really nice handle, easy to lift. When you put your K-Cup in here, there's a needle in the bottom. There's 5 needles on the top. It's gonna puncture that when you close it. There's like a little handle here that's gonna grab the K-Cup. Nothing too fancy up here other than hot water comes out of all 5 of those needles. Now let's take this out. You poke up from the bottom, it just sticks out the bottom there. You just poke up from the bottom here. This has a lot going on with it. And there's a little lever right here that it's gonna be activating. It's gonna be a little hard to see, but there's a little lever right here that's going to activate when it needs to pressurize or not. I'm not sure which way, but I'll show you when that little lever comes out, this cup is going to act different. So it's going to press that little button right there. So when that's in, there's a little lever that can press this. There's not a whole lot of movement with this, but it either presses that paddle or it doesn't press the paddle. So again, we can see there's the single needle on the bottom. Now we can pull this apart. You will have to take this apart for cleaning. So you are going to have to just pop this off. But that paddle, see, it stays there. And what happens is when that lever pushes that paddle, it closes off a port at the bottom of the needle. So that's going to build up pressure. So when the K-Cup is in here, that's going to build up pressure in the K-Cup. And so the coffee will come out differently. And then when there's nothing on that paddle, the pressure will just let coffee come out. So that's going to be very, very important for what the operation is. There's kind of a close-up of it. Again, when it goes in, very little movement. You will have to clean this once in a while. And this just slides in like this. And there's that movement. You'll see it's not very much. Now, when you want to put it back in, this big tab goes like towards the Keurig. Push it in, and now you're good to don't force anything. Now, they do say when you're using the crema or the pressurized function, you want this as close as possible. So let's put a K-Cup in. Let's do one. Push it down. Let's hit the pressurized button. Let's do a double shot, and then I got to hit the K button. It's flashing. All right, so we're starting to get some coffee come out. Now it does say the double shot will be 4 ounces. And sure enough, we got that crema on the top. And then it's going to shut down automatically when it's done. All right, it's done. Wow. Now that's really hot to drink. Okay, let's start brewing some different coffees and espresso shots now. I'm not a super big fan. Let's try a Starbucks French roast. Push it in. Let's do a pressurized 8 ounce, like a typical cup of coffee. Again, it does say to put the up as close as you can because it does kind of spit a little bit. So pressurized, that means crema, 8 ounce, and a brew. Now I want to measure how hot it is. Now I got a preference. I'm not a big fan of that foam on the top. It's kind of an acquired taste. Now even though it kind of looks weak at the beginning, it does kind of make up for it as it brews. It ends up being a pretty strong cup of coffee. Wow, 180. 184. And you're going to end up with a very hot cup of coffee. 162. And the machine does shut off at the end. All the lights go out. I mean, they're really trying to mimic Nespresso. This is what Nespressos are famous for. Again, that crema on the top, I mean, it's just kind of like an acquired taste. Oops, there's a little more drips, but that's an 8 ounce coffee pressurized. Okay. Now the coffee tastes good. This, as far as a Keurig coffee maker, it does make good coffee. It's just this crema. I do find that it seems to taste a little bit stronger when you're in this pressurized mode, if that makes any sense. And you see all the lights are off, so it shuts off automatically when it's done. But I don't leave a K-Cup in here. I've already started to see a bunch of grounds on the. That's the quickest way to clog a Keurig, is to leave the K-Cup in there a day or two. All right, so let's do another French roast. Let's just do a standard cup of coffee. Just set it in there. We're going to pick classic, 8 ounce, and brew. It's a little bit bigger cup. I should have got the same cup, but it's dirty. All right, so this is an 8 ounce cup. This should be the exact same brew, except without the crema on the top, and it's not pressurized. So now it's brewing like a typical Keurig. Less than a minute. You know, I think the brew temperatures are going to be the same. 184. 187 I'm seeing. 190. End up with a very hot cup of coffee. It's very quiet. So you do end up with about almost a 10-degree hotter cup of coffee. But again, no crema on the top, but the same amount of coffee, just no crema on the top. Again, if we open this, there's something going on when you close this. I'm not really sure exactly what these little arms are doing, but they're doing something. I mean, it looks all very well built. Like, this all looks extremely like, unless you force something to break it, it looks like it's going to work for a while. Now, I do like that they give you, so the espresso shots, 2 and 4 ounces for the single and double. I do find it brews more, which I'll show you. The double's about 4.5, almost 5 ounces. It says it's using 5x more pressure. So we'll try to, it talks about this red light coming on and it locks when you're in pressure brew and you can't open it or something. I'm not going to try that, but we'll look for the red light. And it does say dark roasts do work the best for the most amount of crema, and light roast, like a breakfast roast, you're going to have the lowest amount. And the fresher your coffee is, the more crema. I do know that from using Nespressos. The fresher the coffee, the more crema you have. Okay, let's do a donut shop, which is a dark roast. Let's do a pressurized, let's do a single shot and press and brew. See, they talk about this red light. Well, I don't see it anywhere. Huh. That's funny, you'd think you'd see that. Now, if you're wanting this to taste like an espresso shot, it doesn't taste the same as like a true espresso shot. I mean, it is strong. It's really strong. And you do end up with a really hot espresso shot. But, and again, that's about 2.5 ounces. That's the smallest quantity you can do for pressurized. Okay, I turned all the lights off. There's no red light. So I'm not going to try to open it, but we're doing a pressurized brew, and they don't want you to open that up. Maybe it's a different one. Maybe they've got a couple models coming out, but there's no red lights. That's interesting that they would have that, but not that big a deal. All right, so this is definitely going to get a Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. A little bit more testing to go on with it. Again, it makes a great single serve cup of coffee. If you do, I'm not going to be the expert on the crema. I just am not a super big fan of that. I know that's really, really popular. And Nespresso's really, they've got quite a bit more crema. And to be honest, the crema on an espresso does seem to be different. A little bit like finer bubbles, if that makes any sense. This one's almost like they're trying to mimic it as best they can. And again, the best thing you're going to want, I'm starting to see a lot of coffee grounds, is do a freshwater rinse. Just don't put a K-Cup in there. Go classic, 6 ounce, and you'll see a lot of coffee grounds coming out. Yeah. So these are freshwater rinses that I recommend doing at least once a week. Yeah, look at all the coffee grounds. So that's the 5-needle multi-brew technology. That's kind of, you just have to do freshwater rinses once in a while. I don't ever typically find coffee grounds in my coffee. Just there are quite a few that linger around that top needle. This is common for all Keurigs that have, even the single needles you'll get this, not as much. Again, it shuts completely off whenever it's done brewing. It's a little unusual. I mean, it's nice. Typically they'll stay on for a little bit, but I didn't get that click. Well, maybe when there was a K-Cup in there. But anyway, cleans the top needles up real well. Seems like a really nice, solid machine. Sorry, I'm not the expert on coffee tasting. I mean, I'm not to the point where I even drink black coffee yet. I got to put cream and sugar in it. So I'm not going to be the best for doing with the crema. It's kind of an acquired taste. Again, check out my website, justadadcoffee.com or justadadapproved.com. That's where you can find all the products. If they receive my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval, they're highly recommended from me. And on my website, sign up for my email list. So when products go on sale that I recommend, like right now, the Mova P10 Pro, that's my #1 robot vacuum cleaner that I recommend. When it goes on sale, which today it is for $500, I just sent an email out first thing this morning, letting everybody know that's on sale. That's an amazing price. So sign up for my email. I don't send out a bunch, just when products that I love go on sale. And again, even in the email, if you click on the product doesn't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. It's a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to do these reviews. Now, again, my very next video is the D-scale light. And I am glad they gave us the instructions. I'm going to be following those in the manual. Very basic instructions. It does have a high altitude mode. So if you live like in Denver, 5,000 feet, you're going to hold the brew and the 8-ounce button for 3 seconds. And you got to unplug it, plug it back in. That way it's completely off. And then you're going to hold those 2 buttons. And then the 12-ounce will flash to confirm it's in high altitude mode. To disable brew, repeat the 8. Hold the brew button and the 8-ounce button, and then the 8-ounce button will flash to let you know you're out of high altitude mode. And again, they don't give you it's a tall handle water filter that snaps on that little black part right there. So I hope this video helps. If you don't mind, like and subscribe, and check out my website, justadadapproved.com. And thanks.